Hey, friends, it's Jason, and welcome to the 60 Days to Hired Network. This week, we're going to talk about anxiety. Anxiety you probably have about getting ready to go to work, and we're going to talk about how to avoid it. Don't forget, every Friday, we do a live session just like this on the 60 Days to Hired Network. If you know somebody who is stressed out about work, feels like they're underappreciated, underpaid, or maybe overwhelmed, do me a favor. Share the link to the 60 Days to Hired Network with them, and let's all get them to work together so that we can help them to find the career that they're looking for. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, do me a favor. Hit the like button and subscribe. And below the video, you're going to find a link to the 60 Days to Hired Network. Go ahead and join the community. It's free. And if you know somebody who's going through the stresses of work every day and feels like they're meant for something more, maybe it's yourself, go ahead and join us every Friday evening as we talk about the big things that'll help you find the job you're looking for. So tonight, we're going to talk a bit about anxiety. Think about this for a second. What's it like for you on, say, Sunday? Starting to get the jitters, maybe a panic attack? I used to be that way. I had a boss that would send me emails all day on Sunday. She'd get into a couple of cocktails, and then the emails would really get going. And by Monday morning, I was already mentally spent. I was tired. I was frustrated, and I hadn't even had a conversation with anybody. That's when I learned that I probably wasn't meant to be doing that role. I had a couple of colleagues that used to work in the automobile industry. Long days, really long hours, cold, hot, doesn't matter. You're out on the lot chasing customers. I knew some folks that would hide in the bathroom so that they didn't have to go to work. Or maybe you know somebody who's just taking a whole lot of PTO, time off, because they just don't want to go to work anymore and they're trying to use that time to clear their mind. If you are doing any of those things, or you know somebody who is, it's time to look for a new role, and it's time to take control of what your career can look like. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab a piece of paper, and you can either fold it into fours or just draw kind of a big cross in the middle of it so you have 4 boxes. And in those 4 boxes, I want you to write down 4 things that get you really excited. Maybe they're hobbies. Are you into, say, fitness? Or perhaps you're into records. Got a few of them here behind me. Or perhaps you're into automobiles. That's a possibility. Or maybe you're into books. Just a couple of examples. Then I want you to write down the kinds of things you think you could do working in that role. So for example, I'll use records because I have a few of them behind me here. Could you work in a record store helping customers find records? Could you work for a record store going to shows or buying collections to sell in a retail environment? Or better yet, could you go online, buy records cheap, and then sell them on, say, eBay and do something for yourself? The same goes for books. Could you work in a bookstore? Could you work at an independent bookstore where you've got walls of old books, so maybe go through the process of cleaning the shelves up or sorting them? Or maybe there's an opportunity for you to be an official book buyer or to go to book conventions. You see where I'm going with this. And maybe perhaps you work in fitness. Could you be a personal trainer? Could you work at a gymnasium helping sell memberships? Or perhaps you could start your own personal training business and work with clients at fitness facilities, or you could meet them at the local track and help people lose weight through cardio work and maybe some body weight strength exercises. The point I'm getting at here is if you are working in an environment that you're passionate about, you never go to work a day in your life. Now, I know a couple of times I mentioned working for yourself, and we can talk about that another time, but here's something I do want you to think about. What if you could reach out to companies in your community that are businesses that you're passionate about? So let's go back to books for a second. What if you could look at the city you're in and maybe do an internet search for, say, bookstores within 20 miles of me? You'll get some of the big boxes, the Books A Million or the Barnes & Noble, and you'll probably find your independent bookstores as well. But look up their contact information and reach out to them directly. Don't just send a text or an email. Pick up the phone, call and talk to a living person, or get in your car and go out and see them. And when you're there, or if you get somebody on the phone, ask for the person who makes the hiring decisions. It might be an owner, it might just be a manager, you never know. But tell them, say, hey, look, I'm working in an environment right now that really doesn't excite me, but I'm super passionate about books, reading, and sharing the written word with people. Here are some of my skills. I'm great with customer service. I'm really good at researching what types of authors tell what kinds of stories. And I have a particular passion for, say, short fiction. With this kind of energy and this kind of motivation and knowledge, what kind of a role could I have in the book industry, whether working for you or maybe somebody else? And then ask them to give you honest feedback. Look, if there's one thing business owners do love to do, it's to talk to potential customers or potential employees about why working in their field is so great. If you have the chance, go by, bring them a cup of coffee or maybe a muffin, especially if they're in the gym industry. Bring them a cupcake, right? No, not really. But find out who the person is that makes the decisions and talk to them about their business, the types of experience you have, and what a connection could look like. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find yourself either working for them or working in another role with a similar type of company. Now, if you're not sure what kind of skills you have, here's an idea. I want you to consider your favorite AI tool, okay? Take your AI tool and give it a copy of your resume, okay? But then I want you to ask it something like this. I have extreme passion for the world of collecting vinyl, reading, writing, and collecting books, maybe collector's cards, and say collectible figurines like Funko Pops. Attaches my resume with all of my experience, and I'm really excited about possibly working in a field in one of these types of businesses. What types of skills do I have on my resume that would relate to these types of businesses? Give me 10 examples. And it's going to give you 10 different examples. And if you're not sure if you're happy with those 10, ask it for 10 more, and then ask it for 10 more again. When you're done, you're going to have a list of the types of businesses. You're going to have a list of your transferable skills, and then you'll have a guide that you can use to inspire your career search, but also it'll help you formulate some questions you could use to talk to a business owner or a hiring manager. Now, if you really want to get into the weeds, you could also ask AI to list companies within 20 miles that are book sales, that are collectible sales, that are record stores, and ask for contact information. Now, it's going to scrape the internet, so you're probably not going to get the name of the manager, but you'll get the name of the store. Books A Million, here's the address, here's the website, and here's the phone number. And you'll have everything in a nice, clean spreadsheet for you. Now, it's still going to be your responsibility to add the human element to the conversation. Artificial intelligence does not replace you. It does not replace your energy. It does not replace your passion. But what it does do is give you the tools to start the conversation. And I encourage you at this point to have an in-person conversation. Now, if you are given an email address, that's okay. Use everything we've just talked about and send the owner or the manager an email. Hi, Jason. My name is Barbie. I have an extreme passion for books, reading, and the printed word industry, and I'm looking for a role in the book business. Here are some of my skills. And again, go deeper than communication. I'm on time and I'm local, because everybody says that. But if you've got a passion for books, specifically short fiction, you're an avid writer, and you like to share the idea of reading with the public, that might be just enough to get you the door. And when you're there, you can learn more about what books are valuable, what books aren't, how to buy books from, say, somebody who's selling them, or how to buy books from authors, how to stock books, and how to sell books at a show. The next thing you know, you're going to be working in the field that you love, and you're never going to go to work a day in your life. I do want you to think about one thing. When you are doing this, you're probably going to be starting off at entry level. So take for a moment all of your experience you have in your current role. You could have an advanced degree. You could be working in marketing. You absolutely don't like what you're doing, but you really have a passion for the printed word. You're probably going to start off earning a little bit of money, literally a little bit of money. So don't expect to get rich. I'm going to give you an example. My father was a military man. He was in the military for darn near 30 years. And when he retired, he wanted to take a look at other things that would excite him. Now, upon retirement, he wanted to work in the hospitality industry. So he got into the hotel business because he felt like he wanted to manage a hotel. And after doing that for a short while, he realized this is for the birds. I want nothing to do with it. So again, he didn't need to work. He was retired, but he wanted to do something that lit him up. And it led him to the Home Depot. My father loves plants, loves flowers, loves gardening, loves those things. So he went in and said, "Look, I've had gardens all my life. I know plants. I know all these things about how to grow a tomato plant. I'd like to work there." And they were like, "Wow, you're a former military officer. Why don't you be a manager?" He's like, "Nope, don't want any part of that. Don't want the headache. Don't want the responsibility. I want to focus on plants." So for a number of years, my father put on the orange apron and he worked at the Home Depot, teaching people how to plant plants in certain times a year, what was needed to get a tree seedling to take root and grow into something exciting. And it really excited him and lit him up. He has since left the Home Depot, enjoying his second retirement, and now works part-time at my brother's reptile store. Guess what? Teaching people how to have the right plants and their terrariums for their reptiles. So he's doing what lights him up. It took him a little while to get there, but he absolutely adores going to work every day, and he has a smile on his face. Friends, that's what I want you to do to cure the anxiety that you're probably having the night before work, on the drive to work, or on the weekends as you're looking at that Monday looming ahead. If you feel this way, take charge, start taking action, and find the career you deserve. You can find tips like this in my new book, 60 Days to Hired, which is out now. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes& Noble, Walmart, and Target Marketplace, all the places. You can also, of course, get the hard copy or the paperback, and you can read the physical book if you want to do something like that. Also, do me a favor. Don't forget to mark your calendar for every Friday evening. We do a live session just like this on the 60 Days to Hire Network, where we talk about the tips, tricks, and nuances on how to go from where you are today to finding the career that excites you and really gets you paid what you're worth. If you like reading, that's okay. I will have a Substack newsletter coming out in the next 24 to 48 hours where I'll go over all this material and a short blog post on my Medium profile. Thanks a lot for joining me. I will see you next week. See ya.